final solution to debt-tastic debty debt crisis is more debt-tastic debty debt. Einstein may have been an idiot, say Einstein's idiots, as light speed increases. In the UK, peasants suck on the giant cock of lies as the dick of profit comes in their ass. Hello, leveraged bailout funds. Welcome to the FKN Newz. I'm pissing on you and telling you it's raining. Here are the headlines tonight. The world's biggest financial crisis since, last week looks to have been solved by genius bankers at the IMF annual meeting, just ahead of important negotiations in Europe about the Greek and wider Euro debt crisis. The stunningly simple and elegant final solution is more debt. Here's what some banker had to say about the final solution.
Do you want debt? Do you want totem debt? Oodles of debt? Trillions of debt? A debt so large that one country could not bear it alone. Then the solution is to exterminate all undesirable national bonds and replace them with one master bond for the whole of Europe. This pure Eurobond will allow us to enslave the whole population of Europe with one investment in your slavery, instead of the disgusting multinational sovereign bonds we currently have to deal with. This will be the final solution to national debt. This will be the beginning of one uber debt as we bail out banks and countries. We are building the future of the countries of Europe. We bail, giving us total control over all the financial affairs of the countries of Europe, instead of Greece being a slave to a few wealthy banking creditors. Now we rule all the nations, and we will owe so much money to the bankers that slavery will unite us into one vast herd of economics livestock. One super race of debt slaves, one pure Reich of shopping zombies, mein Führer.
Strong stuff from the banks there, but here's Lord Astor Rockerchild the 116th explaining the financial solution for the IMF.
Hello. Well, it's been a great crisis, hasn't it? Really it has. Well, for us anyway. So, instead of your national government issuing bonds in exchange for us printing money, which was a pretty good deal for us, national bonds will now be done away with. Instead, we will print euros, and everybody who uses the euro will be in debt to us. This, in effect, makes us your government, but of course we'll leave the undignified business of education and healthcare to some flunkies that you elect. Meanwhile, we'll wheel and deal your debt slavery around the world as part of a much more efficient global fuckonomics we're preparing. It's very good, you know. But don't worry, you'll still be able to ignore your shadowy puppet master's rule and indulge your consumerist desires at the shops. In fact, we couldn't do this if you didn't, so remember to keep shopping and not give a fuck about your slavery. We hope the transition to a European super state will be a smooth one, but if not, there's plenty of fascist laws and police state machinery to deal with dissent. So, just to recap, the euro crisis is fake, so we can control all of Europe through the issuing of debt via one central bank. Nice. It's a bit like America, but with nicer wine and smaller streets. Your wishes are of course irrelevant, and if you don't like it, you can still elect a bunch of tossers to tell you bedtime stories about prosperity and democracy. Yes. Business will carry on as usual, and the whole thing will be sold to you as a fantastic resolution to a problem we created. And you scum will celebrate it like we did you a favor. Now, fuck off and pay your taxes or we'll raise interest rates. Toodle pip, suckers.
And we're pleased to have in the studio some investment flunky to analyze these announcements. Mr. Flunky, it sounds like the idea of national sovereignty is an illusion. Don't our governments run the countries?
The governments don't rule the world. Goldman Sachs rules the world.
Really? Goldman Sachs? And what do they want?
If you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.
I see. And why do they want to do that?
They know the market is toast. They know the stock market is finished.
Well, what about democracy and the rule of the people, by the people, for the people?
This is not a time right now to wishful thinking the government is going to sort things out.
I see.
That's a tough one. Personally, it doesn't matter. See, I'm a trader. I don't really care about that kind of stuff.
I see. So tell us again who runs the country and what they want.
Goldman Sachs rules the world. Goldman Sachs
and what
does
do we
not
get out
care
of it?
about this rescue package. Neither does the big funds.
Fascinating. Well, thank you for joining us, Flunky.
Hey, it's me, Conspiracy Clown, because it's not enough your government are lying, murdering scum. So, evil, satanic, Illuminati, New World Order types want to create one world government, and this would be a bad thing. Yeah, hey, right, cause having over 200 nations on the planet is such a good idea. I mean, we wouldn't want to stop the circus of the UN talking shite while the planet's seas are fished to extinction. Wouldn't want our forests to stop disappearing, and the arms trade to stop playing off all these different criminal entities against each other, just for profit. Hey, nah, one world government, that would be a bad thing. You stupid fuckers. The last thing the people who run this planet want is one world government. Yeah, keep your flag, your money, your economy, your army, your taxes, your pollution. Everything must have you. You must have everything. Your country must have everything and its rights. The right to poison the sea, pollute the air, exploit the environment. Hey. You think Exxon or BAE Systems or Halliburton want one world government? Shit, man, there's no money in that. Who's gonna be afraid of who? Whose currencies will we trade up and down in the fake economy? Whose ministers for finance and defense will we bribe and corrupt? No, let's keep nationalism and countries. They're such a good idea. One planet, over 200 little tin pot crazy fucking puffed up regimes demanding their rights as nations to piss in my water, fart in my air, and anal probe me at the border, 'cause I'm not from around here. Hey. There is only one planet and we all live on it. One world government would be great. For a start, we'd know where to complain when the food runs out. But best of all, we know who to shoot when the shit goes down. Hey. Until next time, be well, be happy, be free.
Astronomy news now, and the world is being prepared to discard the standard model of cosmology and astrophysics as new and contradicting discoveries are made and long-sought confirmations of obsolete theories are not found. At the same time, the Vatican is positioning itself to claim God created all life in the universe as the discovery of water and therefore life on other planets grows a step closer. Physicists announced last week they had detected subatomic particles called neutrinos that appeared to be travelling faster than the speed of light. It seemed to be an exception to the cosmic speed limit set by Albert Einstein's special theory of relativity. But that's bollocks. Here's our science correspondent, Professor Grant Funding. Well, evidence of faster than light speed travel has been around for decades and regularly reported in fringe science journals. The fact the establishment is trotting out this minor experimental wobble is a forerunner to a total retreat from gravity models of cosmology. Einstein himself knew on his deathbed he'd got it wrong, but it was too late. Standard cosmology, our best explanation of the way it is, admits to being a bunch of unfounded theories. The Big Bang is a theory, dark matter is theory, dark energy is theory, quantum mechanics is theory, even the nuclear model of star formation is a theory. You might as well have witch doctors ramble on about dragon's eggs and swirling froth. Meanwhile, the Vatican will have a theological problem should/when we discover life on other planets, because the Bible doesn't mention them. So, God could appear less than omnipotent and start to resemble something imagined for you by charlatans to help despots control ignorant populations of frightened children. Astronomers have now discovered 600 exoplanets, and the next generation of telescopes
will directly observe exoplanets and soon discover water and other markers of life. The Holy Poop and his moron cohorts are preparing their claim now that all of creation was God's work, even the little green men. So, when the little green men come along, delusional mumbo-jumbo believers won't suffer a logical breakdown vis-a-vis God being a load of bollocks. So, what will replace gravity as the fundamental force in the universe? Well, universe is physically 99.99% plasma. Of the four fundamental forces governing matter's behavior, the strongest is the electromagnetic force. Therefore, the study of plasma and electromagnetism will lead to greater knowledge of the way it is. That's the way forward, and Einstein's idiots know it. So, watch this space.
Let's electrolyze the water. We'll have cheap energy. Let's electrolyze the water. We'll have clean energy. The electric current disassociates water molecules into hydroxide and hydrogen ions. In the electrolytic cell at the cathode, hydrogen ions accept electrons in a reduction reaction that forms hydrogen gas. At the anode, hydroxide ions undergo an oxidation reaction that gives up electrons to the anode to complete the circuit and form water and oxygen gas. Hence, decomposing water into oxygen and hydrogen. When recombined in, say, an internal combustion engine, they make an ideal fuel to power our civilization. Let's electrolyze the water. I see it's all there in the sea. Let's electrolyze the water. We'll have so much energy. Vibrations, that's what's happening. The space between here and there, moving. That's what it amounts to. Molecules shaped by dance tune. Space between here and there, moving. That's what it amounts to. Molecules shaped by dance tune. Stan Meyer's dune buggy ran on water, hydrogen oxygen fuel in an internal combustion engine, onboard electrolysis, no hydrogen tanks, no bombs on board, just water. In 1998 it ran 100 miles per gallon, the second best inventor of the century besides Tesla. Stan is now dead. He jumped up whilst eating a meal in a diner in Ohio, shouted, "I've been poisoned," ran into the car lot and died. Vibrations, that's what's happening. The space between here and there, moving. That's what it amounts to. Molecules shaped by dance tune. Vibrations, that's what's happening. The space between here and there, moving. That's what it amounts to. Molecules shaped by dance tune. By providing energy from a battery, water, H2O, can be disassociated in a diatomic molecules of hydrogen, H2, and oxygen, O2. This process is a good example of the application of the four thermodynamic potentials. The electrolysis of 1 mole of water produces a mole of hydrogen gas and half a mole of oxygen gas in their normal diatomic forms. A detailed analysis of the process makes use of the thermodynamic potentials and the first law of thermodynamics. This process presumed to take 290 K and 1 atmosphere pressure, and the relevant values are taken from a table of thermodynamic properties. The process must provide the energy for the dissociation plus the energy to expand the produced.
In the UK, David Cameron has announced plans to reduce corporation tax by 5%, to subsidise business energy use and allow big energy users to opt out of carbon controls. In a raft of business-friendly announcements, he went on not to say, "While you are experiencing harsh austerity and poverty adjustment, we should also require every man, woman and child in the UK or visiting for the purpose of business or pleasure to suck the giant cock of lies and bend over for a good arse banging by the dick of profit. It's only right in these difficult times that we should all share in the pleasuring of big business's genitalia.
George Osborne and Nick Clegg and myself have all had the giant cock of lies in our mouths since getting elected. And although we have not had our bums reamed out completely by the dick of profit, we have seen it and touched it, and I recommend it to all of you. It's vitally important to the very rich people of Britain, to Britain's economic prosperity, that we swallow as much creamy ejaculate from the giant cock of lies as we can, and that the splintered dick of profit be given complete and unfettered access to your pensions, wages, taxes, public services, tax loopholes, subsidies, and anything else that would bring it to growthgasm or make it profit-ejaculate.
Thanks, and now the weather. Burn, baby, burn, as climate chaos appears less chaotic and more hot. So, let's summarize what recent scientific literature says are the key impacts we face in the coming decades if we stay near our current industrial path. Staggeringly high temperature rises, especially over land, permanent dust bowl conditions around the US, and many other heavily populated regions around the globe. Sea level rise of more than a foot by 2050, then 4 to 6 feet by 2100, rising 12 inches or more each decade thereafter. Massive species loss on land and sea, perhaps 50% or more of all biodiversity lost. And of course the unexpected impacts, the fearsome unknown unknowns. Much more extreme weather, food insecurity, millions starved to death, myriad direct health impacts, blah blah blah. But the good news is, the misery monkey is self-extinguishing. Bye bye bipeds, have a nice weekend.